How you like that? You gon' like that? Da 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 da. You like that? Bada bing, bada boom, boom, boom. How you like that? Da 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 da. Now, look at you, now look at me. Look at you, now look at me. Look at you, now look at me. How you like that? Now, look at you, now look at me. Look at you, now look at me. Look at you, now look at me. How you like that?
Hey y'all, Sherry G. Welcome back to the channel. So look, y'all, Destiny has hit these social media streets again. I mean, she's trending everywhere. And the allegations are alligating. From her end, that is. So, yeah, Destiny did an interview on the Dear Wifey podcast. I forget the name of the host. The title of her interview was How to Heal After the Father of Your Child Puts You in Jail. Okay, so I have a lot to say. I watched this interview and I have something to say. So anyway, y'all, keep in mind that the commentary I give is just my views and opinions. That's it. That's all. And everything is alleged. We don't know if it's true. We don't know if it's not true, except what we do know is true, right? But anyway, y'all, the title, How to Heal After the Father of Your Child Puts You in Jail. I got to tell you that the title of this interview, it really had me. It had me like, whew, Destiny. I feel like this. The title itself actually throws mud all over LB without the details, just the title itself. And yet Destiny sits on claiming that her ex-husband gets pleasure out of seeing her in pain. Honestly, y'all, I haven't seen him do anything like this, So how do you heal after the father of your child puts you in jail? But the first question is, what did he have on you, right? So anyway, I'm sure her title captivated a lot of the women who I saw in those comments because it was interesting. It's like, what's going on? What did he accuse you of? I mean, those of us who know, we know. It's the whole Crime Stoppers thing, where she forged something. She's claiming she didn't forge a contract. So I don't know what it was that she forged. But anyway, we do know that there was a warrant for her arrest and she went down and turned herself in. So to me, this title is something. But again, what about what you did to orchestrate the arresting event? He didn't just put you in jail. There had to be adequate enough proof to put you behind bars, right? I mean, okay. And there's a difference between this Crime Stoppers situation and Kiki's. And that difference is evidence. They couldn't lock her up without some type of evidence. The same thing with Martell. There was something, right? There was something that they saw that backed up the accusations of the victims. So anyway, y'all, in my opinion, when we consider all that has been going on between these two, Destiny and LB, Destiny has been very, very vocal. And LB, on the other hand, he's been silent, aside from throwing a subliminal here and there. But in my opinion, it's always in response to a situation, that's orchestrated by Destiny herself. And that's not often. It's just every now and then. He has never really come out in the public and outed her or thrown mud at her. Now, that doesn't automatically mean that he's innocent, of anything, at all, but I'm just saying she's the one that's really, really vocal. And just watching Destiny and how she moves and who she keeps company with, it just causes me to pause. That's just how I feel about it. I honestly don't feel as though he gets pleasure out of seeing her in pain. I think he's not here for any of her games. It's like he's done with her antics. Destiny's games, using him and his good credit for her pain, for her gain, I'm sorry. You know, the whole squatting in the house situation. I mean, everything. We know she's been arrested for forging his name on paperwork again, but we just don't know what it was. Yet she claims she has zero clue why she was arrested. I'm kind of confused. I mean, when you went down to the courthouse, they told you what was going on. So they showed it to you. So maybe it's not exactly as we all think. You know, maybe it's not exactly as stated where she forged a contract. But in my opinion, there was something, right? There was something because just by virtue of the fact that they arrested her, if there wasn't any proof, then they wouldn't have arrested her. Now, I'm sure there's a court case to come later down the line where she gets to vie for her innocence. And we'll see what happens, right? Another thing that I found interesting in this whole interview was that Destiny actually claimed to be the breadwinner. And I'm just like wondering how. Like, what? How? Now, granted, I know that LB retired from the military, so there may have been a lag time between when he retired and when he actually got hired onto his, government job. There might be a lag time, so maybe in her mind she was the breadwinner during that period. I really don't know, y'all. It just kind of boggles my mind, and I just would like to get inside of her head just to kind of understand a little bit better. But mostly I would love to hear LeBerick in his side of the story. Allegedly, she has been out here, and she's been getting assistance from the government. And we all remember on the show that Mel had given her, I think, in the area of $6,000 in the past to help her. Her electric was turned off at that time, and Mel actually helped her. So I really don't see how she was the breadwinner. You were the breadwinner, but you couldn't handle your finances when the man left. So that just seems kind of like, I don't know. And also, allegedly, when Maurice was trying to help her get her credit together so that she could refinance their then home in her name after their divorce, it was so bad that Maurice stated, allegedly, that he couldn't help her. And so in my mind, I feel like he couldn't help her in the length of time that she needed, because she probably needed it like really quickly. I think she had like a year to get everything together. Yeah, that's right. She had a year to get everything together. And I just don't think it was enough time based on, that's what I was getting anyway, based on, what Maurice was saying. I can't help you. It's not like your credit can't ever be repaired, because we know that it can eventually, but the length of time might have been an issue. And that's my opinion. That's what I'm alleging. She claims that LeBerick prevented her from refinancing that home, though, y'all, by not providing mortgage statements. And I have to tell you, I was kind of perplexed by that, because I feel like loan officers can easily get what they need about a previous mortgage, can't they? Now, I know that I was like reading the comment section over there, and people were going back and forth about, well, maybe she was on the deed and maybe she wasn't on the loan. So here's what I think. She claims that it was a VA loan. I believe it was. And so she wouldn't be able to be on the loan because it was a VA loan. And that's not true. She was claiming that she could only be on the deed, but not on the loan because it was VA. But that's not true. My home is backed by the VA by virtue of my husband's time in service. I'm very much on the loan. the only way she wouldn't be on that loan, in my opinion, and based on what I know, is if her credit was too messed up and would cause them not to qualify for the home. Because when two people are applying for a loan together, they're going to go by the lowest credit score to see if they can qualify. So if her credit was too messed up and it would cause them not to be able to get that loan, then perhaps, and again, this is just an allegation, this is just me trying to figure out what she's talking about, that could keep her from being on the loan part, but it wouldn't keep her from being on the deed. So, I do know at one point in time, you could actually work mortgages this way, meaning she wouldn't be, again, like I said, directly responsible for the loan. However, due to community property, she would be on the deed. So perhaps she wanted to take over his mortgage. That could be another scenario. So that was the first scenario I thought of. And the second was perhaps she wanted to take over his existing mortgage. Now, if her credit wasn't that sound, taking over his mortgage, it could benefit her because it could possibly yield her a lower interest rate. Because normally with the VA, you get a lower interest rate, right? You're going to get a lower interest rate than a conventional loan most of the time. So it could be that she could qualify if she could take over that loan based on whatever interest rate LB had. Doing this wouldn't benefit LB at all, though, not in my opinion. And I personally wouldn't do it. Like if this was the case and he said, no, I don't want that, I don't blame him, because he would receive nothing monetarily by way of the equity that was built up over the course of time in that home. This could also mean that his VA loan benefit would be affected. It seemingly would take away from his overall benefit amount. And that could actually hinder him from being able to use the benefit on a future home purchase. So, yeah, if that's the case, no, then I don't blame him for saying no. And then again, what if she defaulted in this scenario? I don't know. However, if this is what she wanted, like I said, I could see LB's reason for saying no. I also see Destiny in her mind thinking he just wants to hurt her. Does that remind y'all of anybody else we know? Yeah, I think that when he does anything, this is just my opinion. Like I could see her saying, "You just want to hurt me, or you just want to see me in pain. You just want to see me suffer," because she stated that he got pleasure out of seeing her in pain, and I do believe that that's probably in her mind, and that's something that she accuses him of because she wholeheartedly believes that, without considering the things she's doing, without considering the pain she's causing him or the possible damage she could cause him if she did default on the loan and things like that, saying that if it was still in his name. She also stated that she suffered DV. She didn't get specific into any details. So as a matter of fact, I actually listened to Trending yesterday. I was in her bushes. Hey, Trending. She had some paperwork where LB actually filed a protective order against Destiny. So I find that to be interesting too. I mean, oh, y'all, it's a lot. I'm not sure what she meant by, abuse. I don't know what she meant. I don't recall her giving any details, like I said, but another interesting claim coming from Destiny regarding LB is that when she had the baby, she was stuck with about $20,000 in hospital bills. Now, y'all, I don't know how this is possible, especially being that he was in the military, and even if he was retired at the time that they had the child, he still would have TRICARE, like TRICARE Prime. And with him being retired, she would still be covered because she was still his wife. So she would be covered for at least the majority of it, I would think. And I would think that his civilian job would then pick up any lag in the insurance. Anything that the insurance, the primary insurance being TRICARE, didn't pay, that his civilian job would pick up the rest of it. So I'm not sure how this is possible. It's one of those things that she told the interviewer that really pulled on the heartstrings of his tribe, though. And it seemed like she really had them. But I also got the feeling like a lot of them suffered some type of trauma themselves, some type of abusive trauma. I felt as though they're all not tuned into the show either, or haven't been following to see the things off camera. So it would be easy for them to be, like drawn into this whole scenario and all of these things that Destiny was telling them without really sitting back and taking pause. Now, the one thing, LeBerick leaving her 3 weeks after she had a baby, and then and then trying to get the child away from her. I'm not down for that at all. If this is the truth, I feel like that sucks. But I don't know what it's like or what it would have been like for him living in that home with her either. At the onset, I feel like it sucks and it was a horrible thing to do. This is just my opinion. But again, I don't know what it's like or what it would have been like for him to live in the house with her at that time. So when I watched this whole interview, though, and watching Destiny and her body language and just taking it all in, I overall feel like she's creating moments for a comeback onto the show, because she mentioned she would like to come back. She reminds me of Martell in so many ways, y'all. It's like she shares a very skewed version of the truth. She twists things and retwists things and forgets about her first twist. Like the DV thing. I wish LB would come on the show if Destiny does come back and like do it as a surprise, right? Just here I am sort of thing. That would be something, wouldn't it? I don't think he wants to have any part of it anymore, though. So I doubt very seriously if we're going to see LeBerick on the show, but it would be awesome if he would come and share his side of the story. I feel like he'd rather handle things quietly, though. But y'all know the truth always prevails. The real truth. It has a way of coming out. Not the truth that Destiny has going on in her mind. Like I said, I honestly believe that Destiny feels as though LB just wants to see her suffer and in pain because he won't give in to her whims. Because he's taking measures to protect himself, to protect his credit, his assets, as he moves to create a sustainable living and a legacy for himself and his son. Y'all, she did say that she's not getting child support. And I was kind of shocked about that, honestly. I say take him to court, put him on child support. I don't see why not, especially looking at all the things that we've seen. Like, she lost Madani, she was struggling to stay in the home. It just seems like Destiny has been struggling financially. So why wouldn't you get child support? Why wouldn't you put him on child support? Another thing that she said is that she's in counseling to help her recover from trauma from her childhood and her marriage. Like, she really painted a bad picture of LB. But one of the things that I was glad to hear is that she's actually in counseling for this trauma. My prayers, though, is that my prayers is healing for her and peace for her. And for LB, especially, for law's sake, hopefully this trauma counseling will help Destiny overcome. So I don't know, y'all. The second part of this, another part of this interview, she talked about, like her ex Moses, and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions about that in my next video. I want to go ahead and do some research on Moses and Sonny, and I'll be back. And though, in the meantime, if you haven't done so, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I'll be back. Until then, ciao.